Well, Dr. Mohamed Faisal Elsheikh is a spokesperson for the Sudan Doctors Network and joins us live from Manchester here in the UK. Dr. Elsheikh, thank you very much for your time this evening. As we heard in that report, human rights groups are warning that the RSF may well be targeting activists, aid workers, journalists, raising fears that they're trying to eradicate witnesses of a potential ethnic cleansing. Now, it's your colleagues at the Sudan Doctors Network who were among the first to flag what's going on. What have you been hearing and how concerned are you?
Hi, good evening. To be honest, the communication with our teams on the ground in El Fasher is very interrupted. It's extremely difficult. We are not getting like a very dynamic reports about the situation. I mean, clearly, since the invasion of El Fasher by the RSF forces last week, they've been a systematic target to the people who are working in the medical fields, in the media, in the humanitarian fields as well. Unfortunately, today we got a confirmation that one of the doctors of El Fasher has been executed by the RSF forces. This is really sad news. So doctors are being kidnapped and at the very beginning of this invasion to the city since last week, and then the forces have been demanding ransom from the families of these hostage doctors and medical staffs. So there's always a target to these people who are working in these fields. Like, the communications are completely interrupted. We feel like there is a bit of a systematic distraction to the networks and systems and signals over there. The only way to communicate with the people on the ground in El Fasher is just through the Starlink services, which are mostly owned by People Pro or part of the RSF forces as well. So all in all, since these atrocities are happened, unfortunately, people who are working in the medical field, in the hospital, in the humanitarian field, they're not excluded by the executions and having horrible acts from the RSF forces towards them. We've seen journalists that have been hostage. We've seen the Red Crescent staff who are being hostage in Bara Hospital. We have seen many doctors who are being taken from the Saudi and Fasher Hospital. We have seen videos of RSF committing a horrible massacre in El Fasher and Saudi hospital, turning the hospital into a slaughterhouse. So these are all heartbreaking events. These are all very unacceptable. These are extreme violations to the Human Rights Acts, to the protocols of the wars and the regulations of how to run the wars in the city. Doctors, humanitarians, and journalists and people who works in these fields, they just do their jobs in these difficult situations, and they don't deserve this type of severe actions from the RSF forces, to be honest.
Given the famine and these reported massacres and the tens of thousands still believed to be trapped in El Fasher, do you feel that there's enough urgency right now from the international community, or is more pressure needed? And if it is applied, will that make any difference to the RSF?
To be honest, there are two sides to answer this question. So there is a side that we need to have an urgent action from the international community and the international organizations, because people in the ground over there, they really need to have these urgent medical aids and foods and humanitarian aids. They are in a very difficult situations. They're passing through a very horrible time. They are very weak in their health and their mental status. They have been through a lot. They have been under massive siege and famine for the last 550 days. They have high rates of acute malnutrition with a high death toll of we were losing 3 kids every day before this invasion. So I would assume now the rates are even, unfortunately, higher when it comes to the mortalities. So we need to have an urgent response from these international partners and communities. The second aspect of this, to answer this question, unfortunately, we have a lot of reports coming from a lot of NGOs on the ground that the RSF forces are not allowing these medical aids and these medical convoys and humanitarian supports to come to the Fasher. They're blocking them from outside. And as per your last correspondent report, all these NGOs, they are struggling a lot to do their work in the ground. There is a bit of a safety and security hazards for their own staff since they are systematically targeted by the RSF forces. So to cut it short, to be honest, I think the international community needs to make an action, actually a positive step, rather than just making press releases and simple, there are violations here to the human acts. There is a forces that torturing people of a whole region and causing a lot of atrocities, killing them. So we need to have an action on the ground. We need to stop these things. We need to have a safe and secure passage for all these humanitarian aids to come to people in need. We have thousands and thousands of refugees and displaced people that they try to escape out of the city in El Fasher, and they are escaping out of Bara city. They're reaching out their final targets. They are in a very difficult situations. The offices of the NGOs in Tawila, they cannot. They will be struggling to accommodate the influx of large numbers coming out from El Fasher to them. So they need to have an urgent support to provide the bare minimum care to these people who are reaching to them from El Fasher.
Dr. Elsheikh, thank you very much for your time and for speaking to us here on TRT World. Dr. Elsheikh, spokesperson from the Sudan Doctors Network.